say, can you see? Hey everyone, welcome to day 7 of this 25-day series of the book, The 25 Stories I Would Tell My Younger Self. In this book, we talk about different stories all along the way, and we talk about the lessons we take away. And as you can see from my attempt at the very beginning, we are talking about story number 7. This is the America story today. Now, as you might know, at the age of 16, I decided that I wanted to leave Austria and go into a total new environment. I wanted to move somewhere where I have never been before, and I basically went there to improve my basketball skills. But going to the US and going to Nashville Christian School in the US, which was a very big difference for me because I was not really necessarily, I didn't grow up very religious. So suddenly I was in a Christian school, and I had to develop a lot of new skills at the age of 16. And I think a lot of these skills, they helped me, they helped me big time, and they helped me today. And if you read the book, you will see the 3 biggest takeaways I have from this time. But so what I want to talk about today is people learning to develop a gut feeling. Now, you have probably heard this a couple of times in your life, how important many business leaders or many successful people say, my gut feeling just told me I had to go this way. Or my gut feeling told me that this deal is a wonderful deal. Now, how did I learn this? And I feel a gut feeling is something you develop. It's not something you have, you learn this along the way. And there's a really, really great story in one of Malcolm Gladwell's books where he talks about how people that have experiences in certain fields, they develop these gut feelings. So what they do basically, they, with a very short glimpse of just knowing, looking at one small little detail, they can see the entire picture. And out of a gut feeling, out of this inner conscious that they cannot even explain, they can relate from one small detail and go to the entire big picture. Now, how did this relate to me and how does this relate to you? Because Malcolm Gladwell, for example, talks about chicken breeders, right? They breed chickens so they can decide really quickly if there's a female or a male chicken. Or he talks about artists who can look at a painting or a sculpture and within an instant they know if that sculpture is a fake or is real. And it was just really quick. Now, I don't know, and I would love to take you to another place that you might be able to relate to a lot better. And that is, I don't know if you're into sports. I don't know, maybe you're into soccer or maybe you're into basketball, just like myself. By the way, Stephen Curry today, oh my gosh, mind-blowing again. Golden State Warriors really killing it. That's really wonderful. I'm really happy about that. So, soccer, football, basketball, maybe surfing, or maybe you play the piano, or maybe you do something, right? Now, the more experienced you become in this, the quicker, with just an instant, you can look at a person executing that, and just from an instant, you can distinguish whether that person is a beginner, is medium strength, or is an expert in what they do. I give you an example. Me in basketball, I can look at the person just the way they hold the ball. Or when they do one dribble, I can notice straight away how good of a basketball player that person is, just by the way he shoots or she shoots the ball. I can see. I'm pretty sure if you are an expert soccer player, you can do the same thing in soccer. And so when I was in the US, since I was put from one environment into a total new environment, I had to learn really quickly which people I could trust, who were fake or who were honestly and sincerely helping me. And I had to learn these skills because there was a couple of times in the US that I ran into someone's knife, if you want to call it. I mean, not physically, I'm just talking in figure of speech. Why? Because I believed I could trust that person. I didn't know that person, just like I could trust everybody else. And I'm a very good believer, so I always believe in the good of the other person. But then suddenly I ran into the other person's knife. And from this knowledge, I had to learn were there small little clues that I could have noticed to develop my gut feeling over time. And so since I met from one day to the other 200 new people, and I could not rely on anyone because everyone was back home in Austria and I was in this new environment, I had to develop these feelings where I could have 200 people and had a huge sample group, and I could basically say, okay, so I trusted all the 200, but really quickly I understood 100 I couldn't work with those because they were not my kind of type. Great. And I started to develop ideas and gut feelings why these people were not the right fit for me. And over time, out of the other 100, I would notice, okay, so these 50 didn't work. Oh yeah, right. Because of that little thing, back then when I was chewing gum in school, that person had this little grin on, and just this little thing should have told me that that person's going to tattletale on me. Little things like that. So what is my point here? My point here is that all of us, every single one, so you, me, everyone else, has to develop a strong gut feeling if we want to learn to be successful in anything that we do. And why is that? Because we can never know everything to make an educated decision. We need to be able to learn to focus on a small, narrow patch and detach from this small thing and scale up to the entire size to make the best educated decisions possible. So, the more often you take these decisions and the more often you learn and you reflect, the better your gut feeling is going to become. So when you meet someone and you develop a certain gut feeling, listen to your gut feeling. Remember this feeling when you talk to someone and you feel, that person has something weird behind them, or that person is just awesome to be around. I had such a good feeling with this person. Great. Remember that. In the US, what I even did was I made little notes on a little booklet and wrote down the people just so I could develop my gut feeling. And you know what happened? Over a couple of months, I was so spot on with my gut feeling with people because I learned to trust my gut feeling. And I learned, okay, if my gut feeling has this little nuance in, it feels weird initially, but that's just because the other person was uncomfortable with me. And over time, the gut feeling went perfect. Or with others, I thought it was perfect, but over time I realized it was not working out. So, my call for you today is, just like I wrote in the book, you need to learn to work with people. And I was fortunate that at the age of 16, I was thrown into this entirely new environment. And that new environment forced me to develop these skills. These skills back then that I developed, they help me so much today when I do business with people, when I make friendships, build relationships, and so on. But this is something everyone can develop. If you learn to listen to your gut feeling, you learn to look at people with a small thing and you try to scale up the entire picture, just like you would do watching someone doing sports or playing an instrument. And when you do this, you're going to be extremely successful over time. It's just like practice makes perfect. So, I hope that you have a wonderful 7th December. I hope you enjoyed today's show. If you want to have more of those, then just check back, subscribe to our YouTube channel, connect with us on Facebook. We have a lot of stuff going on there. And of course, we send out regular newsletters where if you sign up, so head over to our to our website, I'll give you some Julian's High 5 tips. I'll give you a bit of a sneak peek into the book. So you definitely want to subscribe there and get some extra value. And of course, check back for tomorrow for the 8th story. And we're going to have some really fun stuff tomorrow coming on. Tomorrow from Austria, because we're flying tonight. And so with this, have a great December. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Cheers. Bye-bye. Julian.